So we've been talking about strategies that we can use to deal with our technology better. We're going to talk about a different way we can act, kind of be a little bit more mindful about our technology. We need to promote what researchers have called our own attentional hygiene. What is attentional hygiene? Well, it's this idea that you can have strategies that you use to kind of minimize your distraction and keep your attentional focus. It's kind of like we have hygiene for our hands to keep them clean. It's like keeping our attention as clean as possible. And researchers have come up with a bunch of different ways to do this. One big one, as you saw from maybe that Ward and colleague study, is like when you're trying to do something, just don't have your phone out. Like it doesn't seem like it's affecting you when it's sitting here. I'm violating this right now because I need to check the time, which is why I hate having, that's why we all need watches and alarm clocks and things, because the time is a device messes with us with the time. But anyway, but the idea is just don't have it around you, in your bag, in the other room. It doesn't seem like it's affecting us, but the data really suggests it is. So that's just an easy hack, especially for your kids as they're doing homework or doing things that are academic work. Just get the phone out of there. And then something for you too. Big, big hack. But another one is to kind of mess with your phone so it's just less attentionally demanding. Probably some of you have heard these hacks already about doing things like putting your phone on grayscale and things like that. It sounds really silly, but in fact, it just makes it much less attention grabbing, right? Even if you look at the image, the one on the left is just much more compelling. It's just kind of boring to look at the one on the right, so your brain just sort of gets used to it. I think that this is a nice kind of hack that you can give your kids too, which you can say, look, you can use your phone, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., but it's just going to be on grayscale the whole time, to make sure. Like, these are just simple hacks that you can use to make things less attentionally demanding. But another one is a set of strategies you can use to kind of mindfully pay attention to whether your attention is getting dragged away. And for this, I love the strategies that come from the journalist Catherine Price. She has this lovely book called How to Break Up with Your Phone, where she argues that you don't have to break up with your phone per se, but you have to take it to like couples counseling to like navigate the relationship. And one of her strategies for like phone couples counseling is to ask yourself kind of mindfully, why was I using this phone? What is it there for? Like, is there a reason that I'm using the phone? And she has this clever little acronym that she uses, which is WWW, which happens to be what we're on when we're on our phone. It stands for what for, why now, and what else. Every time you use your phone, WWW. First off, what for? What was I using it for? Was there some purpose? I was checking my email or checking the weather, or just is in my hand, right? Why now? This is a sort of emotional question. What emotions drove you to be on your phone? You were bored, you were feeling lonely, was there a reason? Finally, and maybe most importantly, for some of these social deprivation issues, what else? What's the opportunity cost of being on my phone right now? I'm not talking to my kid. I'm not talking to my spouse, and so on, right? If you go on Catherine Price's website, she has these little kind of elastics that say WWW that you can literally put on your phone. You can get them for your kid. But I think this is really powerful. WWW is not saying get off your phone, but it's just asking, was there a good reason that you're on it? What's the kind of cue that drives you to your phone? Maybe you can understand that better and sort of what the opportunity costs. I think this is powerful for parents, but it's really powerful for our teenagers. And it can be especially a good set of questions, I think, for our teens when they're on social media, particularly when they're on certain social media sites that I feel like teens get really sucked into these days, things like TikTok. What for? Why now, right? What's the cue that kind of caused them to go? Maybe it's a solution for their boredom. Maybe they're using it as a solution for their anxiety. Maybe they're using it to kind of take a break, right? This kind of questions can give you insight into why you're going to things and if there are really good reasons there. And the what else, right? You just spent 6 hours on TikTok. What else could you have been doing with that time? Again, this is a spot where I find our teens can answer these. They can get insight into the fact that the what else trade-off wasn't good for them and they want to do something different. So get your kids to kind of think about this WWW strategy and promote generally intentional hygiene, which is super important. There's also evidence to show that if we want to be using our technology a little bit healthier, then we need to use it a little bit more socially. Again, there's this sort of question where we sort of often lump our technology and social media use under one thing. You're using social media. But researchers have found there's different ways to use this. In fact, they make a distinction between what you might call active social network use, which is like you're posting, you're interacting with people, you're actually commenting, you're really getting the thing you're supposed to get on social media, which is social interaction, versus what you might call passive social media use, which is like you're just lurking, you're just viewing, you're just scrolling, you haven't interacted with anybody, you're just kind of getting this passive information. And researchers have found that if you're using social media more actively, those kind of normal hits that we see to things like your overall positive mood, increases in depression, increases in anxiety, they don't happen as much for people who are more active users. Problem is that in the same studies, they also find that usually when we're using this stuff, we're using it passively, right? So the bulk of our use is passive, but if we could get a little bit more active, a little bit more social, the harms wouldn't be as much. So if you're going to use these sites, how can you actually engage a little bit more actively with them? That was all how we can act to use our technology better. But I think with technology, for us and for our kids, we also have to think a little bit about this feeling question. We need to ask ourselves, what are the emotions that make us turn to our phones? We talked a little bit about this with some of Catherine Price's work on noticing why now. But I find that our phones aren't always there for information. They're sort of an emotional crutch for lots of situations. We go to them when we're feeling bored or feeling lonely or feeling a little bit kind of stressed out, when we're mad at our spouse, right? We use these for emotional regulatory purposes. But understanding that kind of path of regulation, of kind of using it to kind of mess with your emotions, can be really important for discovering whether you're using your phone in a healthy way or in a not so healthy way. And this is something I think can be super important for our teens. Just encourage conversations about you find yourself on TikTok, but I'm just not criticizing. I'm just really curious because I'm sure you've thought about this too. What are the moments that you wind up there? Are you bored? Are you anxious? What is it? Start a conversation about these emotional parts of phone use, because that can often help you diagnose what you're missing and what could maybe sub in for some of these things that are more harmful, but you could engage with it in a healthier way. So that's how we need to kind of feel a little differently and hack our kind of emotions if we want to have a better relationship with our phones.